came to BYU. It was always one of those one track, like, hey, I'm going to BYU type kids. I got in. It was great. I was going to be a Cougar. And so we had, I was in a small Helaman Hall. I was in Helaman Halls, in a great ward, great friends. Everyone was getting geared up to go on missions. I took a mission prep class. And I'd say the biggest things that I did to prepare was probably speak in front of large groups of people and practice teaching the lessons and just get comfortable in front of others. Just gaining like a sense of who I was and a confidence, as well as looking, just kind of getting confidence in God, getting a faith that He was going to help me. He was there. So, so any really, like, as far as pre-MTC experience, if I could be prescriptive and prescribe to anyone, I would say just practice teaching the lessons, and even practice like sharing your testimony to get comfortable with what you know, and pray and ask God for help a lot. That's the things that helped me the most. When I got my mission call, I was actually in Helaman Halls, and I worked at the mail office. And so my colleague, one of my colleagues, called and said, hey, the mission calls are here. And I was like, what? And she was like, your mission call is here? And I was like, oh! And so I remember running across campus. I think I left whatever class I was in, and I just ran across campus and ran into the Helaman Halls. Actually, where the Helaman Halls Creamery is, that's where the post office used to be. The creamery is still halfway under construction, so there's kind of a post office there. And ran in, got my mission call, held it up to the light, tried to weigh it to see if it was an international mission, and that was that. So that night, I opened my mission call with half my ward there. Don't recommend doing that, by the way. I wish I could redo this, do it quietly by the temple, something like that. But I opened my mission call with half my ward there. I was standing on top of a pool table. I had been trying to get Skype to work, and Skype was, this was a while ago, so Skype was still like, and I stood up on the pool table, ripped open my call, read, Dear Elder Brian Michael Sebesti, you are hereby signed to labor in the Ogden, Utah mission. And I just remember thinking, what? It's gotta be a joke, right? Like Utah? And I feel like Utah missions are a lot more common now, but this was 2008, 2009, and I was just stunned. I wasn't like disappointed so much as seriously surprised. I have my list of places like I was going, like I felt like I could go here. I have my list of places I wasn't going, and Utah wasn't on either list. It just did not occur to me that I could go to Utah. And so I was like, well, and so of course, at Helaman Halls, there were a couple Snickers. Somebody told me, hey, we'll send you cookies and they'll still be warm. I was like, and I was worried at first that I would be home teaching for 2 years. And of course, now that I understand home teaching and what the gospel's about, that actually sounds really exciting. But I talked to my dad that night, and by the way, a quick aside, when I called the Skype didn't work. So when I called my sister to let her know I was going to Utah mission, because they didn't hear when I announced it with the group, my sister didn't believe me. She thought I was joking. So I remember her distinctly yelling, Mom, Brian won't tell me where he's actually going on a mission. And my mom and my dad picked up, and I was like, I'm going to Utah. And they were super supportive. My dad talked to me about some of the unique aspects of Utah and really bolstered my faith that this was right. And I remember later praying about it, seeking guidance. I walked up to the temple. It's a nice thing about Provo is you live right next to a temple. And I remember asking God, I was like, is this right? And I felt distinctly that this was where I needed to be. And turns out Utah was the place for me. It was a great, great mission experience.